Welcome to Stellar 7. What is intermittent fasting? Intermittent fasting, also nicknamed IF, is a meal timing schedule that cycles between voluntary fasting and non-fasting over a given period. Intermittent fasting has become an increasingly popular health and fitness approach in recent years. At its core, intermittent fasting simply means alternating intervals of eating with intervals of fasting, not eating, or very restricted calorie intake on a regular schedule. Studies show this can lead to a variety of health and weight loss benefits when done carefully. Intermittent fasting is not a diet. It is a method to structure your meals to get maximum benefits from the body's natural mechanism, while most out of your food and regulate weight. It allows you to continue to eat the foods you currently consume, just at a different time, which is why people love intermittent fasting. Don't let going without food shock you. I incorporate intermittent fasting and I change the way I think. I call it delayed eating. There are so many yummy foods and great restaurants that I love to go to. Everyone wants to enjoy events with family and friends, so adopting a lifestyle that allows you to enjoy those foods is awesome. I just alter my schedule based on my activities for the week. There are several different intermittent fasting methods. So in this segment, we'll provide an overview of the most common approaches. First, let's start by covering some key things to know that apply to most intermittent fasts. The fundamentals. Please consult your doctor and nutritionist before making any changes to your diet lifestyle. During fasting periods, some consumption is allowed, including water, black coffee, and tea. I have a great video about the top drinks while intermittent fasting in the description below. It can take some time for the body to adjust to intermittent fasting. Effects like hunger, headaches, irritability, and reduced energy often dissipate after the first week or two as the body adapts hormonally and metabolically. Staying hydrated by drinking water is important. To be honest, I have never had headaches or irritability. If I felt hungry, I drank water or coffee, especially in the morning. Exercise is fine during fasting periods for most people, while workouts that require high endurance or maximum power may be tougher at first. I work out throughout my fast and feel great. Pay attention to your body's signals when working out while fasting. Let's dive into the popular intermittent fasting methods. Number 1, the 16-8 method. The 16-8 method involves fasting for 16 hours per day and restricting food intake to an 8-hour window. For example, eating only between 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. and fasting overnight and in the morning. This allows for 2 meals during the 8-hour eating period. 16-8 is considered the easiest intermittent fast type. Number 2, the Eat Stop Eat. With this method, you do a 24-hour fast 1 to 2 times per week. For example, finishing dinner Sunday evening, fasting all day Monday, then not eating again until Tuesday evening. Water, black coffee, and other calorie-free drinks are allowed on fast days. Number 3, the 5-2 diet. This approach involves fasting much more restrictively, only 2 days per week, generally defined as 500 calories consumed on those fasting days, while eating normally for the other 5 days. This style of intermittent fast works well for some, as it's less frequent but more restrictive on fast days. I consider this method more for maintenance when you have achieved your goal weight. There is another method that the water fasting community discusses as the 5-2 diet, where you fast for 5 days with just water and eat 2 days out of the week. People usually would incorporate this fast from Monday through Friday and then enjoy food on the weekends. This requires extreme discipline, proper hydration, and adding some electrolytes are helpful when you need a boost. Number 4, the 24-hour fast. As the name implies, this involves picking one 24-hour period per week to fast completely, often done once per week or once every 2 weeks. Number 5, the alternate day fasting. This is another relatively intense intermittent fast that entails fully fasting every other day. On the non-fasting days, no restrictions apply. On the fasting days, 500 calories at most are allowed. Number 6, the warrior diet. This unique method involves little to no food consumption during daylight hours, then eating relatively freely in the evening after workouts. So fasting for most of the day, then overeating at night. An intense plan often used by athletes looking to build muscle. And number 7, the OMAD, one meal a day. OMAD allows a person to fast for 23 hours, followed by 1 hour of eating, which results in the one meal. With this schedule, the meal can occur at any time of the day once the 23-hour fast has been completed. Many people on Team OMAD love to indulge on anything they want during this period because it is only 1 hour. Realistically, you will still lose weight. However, in order to ramp up weight loss, always choose nutrient-dense whole foods. Good protein will help keep you feeling full longer and provide more energy than overly processed fast foods. Considerations as you approach intermittent fasting. Hunger, discomfort. Intermittent fasting regimens can require ignoring hunger signals for longer stretches of time, especially during the initial adjustment period, which can take weeks and may include headaches and upset the gastrointestinal tract. Staying very hydrated is key. Consider easing in. Those with medical conditions or a history of eating disorders should use caution. Intermittent fasting is not for everyone. Some groups should use extra caution or avoid intermittent fasting. This includes children, teens, pregnant or breastfeeding women, those with a history of eating disorders or at risk for disordered eating. Some on medications should check with doctors before changing meal frequency and timing. Sustainability concerns. While many find intermittent fasting gets much easier over 2 to 8 weeks, sticking with fasting protocols long-term can still be difficult for some. Mixing up different intermittent fast types or taking periodic breaks from fasting may help. Or focusing more on whole foods and mindfulness when not fasting. What happens during fasting? When the body goes into fasting mode, many things happen. Your body will adjust hormone levels to make the stored fat more accessible to burn. Your cells also go through a process of repair and the change of expression of genes. Let's understand what happens to the body in these windows of time. Range, 6 to 8 hours. During this time, your stomach breaks down your meal into glucose, amino acids, and fatty acids. The pancreas releases insulin, which adds glucose into the cells for energy. Any excess glucose that was not utilized for fuel will be sent to the liver to be paired with glycogen for later utilization or stored in our fat cells. Range, 8 to 12 hours. The cells in our body have a preference to run on glucose. However, they are able to utilize fatty acids if the glucose is depleted. Here is where the process change called lipolysis occurs. The fat cells release free fatty acids into the blood, and these fatty acids travel to the liver to be converted into ketone bodies. Our bodies are now being fueled with ketones. I will also note that fasting is the fastest method to get your body into ketosis. Ranging 16 to 19 hours, the human growth hormone, HGH, begins to increase the growth hormone that regulates the fat, muscle, tissue, and bone in our bodies and other aspects of our metabolism, such as insulin action and blood sugar levels. Growth hormone levels naturally reduce from middle age onwards. Through fasting, we can get this natural body feature to increase. HGH production typically declines as we get older, which results in muscle loss and bone density loss. While fasting, the human growth hormone assists in rebuilding this muscle mass and bone density. The body begins to heal itself. Glucagon begins to balance blood sugar. At 20 to 24 hours, autophagy begins. Autophagy is the body's method of removing damaged cells from the body to regenerate newer, healthier, more productive cells. Another big benefit of autophagy is that it helps to tighten skin and reduce the amount of loose skin on your body. Your skin will increase elasticity and tighten faster. At 36 hours, autophagy increases to 300%. At 48 hours, immune system reset and regenerates. Increased reduction of inflammation response. Intermittent fasting can vastly simplify diet management with consistent periods of no calorie intake. No meal prep or calorie tracking needed on fast days. I am always mindful of my calorie intake, but not having to track it makes life so much easier. Also, you don't need to spend money on purchasing meals for some of those very expensive diet plans. Hopefully, this breakdown gives a helpful introduction to intermittent fasting. While research continues, current studies indicate several popular fasting methods can be safe and beneficial for most when attempted cautiously and sensibly. If interested, be sure to speak to your doctor to educate yourself on your chosen approach. Know signs to watch for, stay hydrated, pay attention to your body's signals, and work slowly toward consistency that works for your lifestyle. There are numerous ways to modify these eating schedules to fit your eating habits and lifestyle, which is why intermittent fasting is very successful, especially for the long term. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.